My name is Juan Francisco, and I'm a psychic medium and tarot card reader. I've always been curious about the supernatural, the paranormal, and psychic abilities, and I'm here to share my stories and interview folks who want to share their own stories with us. Let's get to it. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling a lot of new energy. And maybe it's just me because I've had a shift in my life recently, and I'm just excited, and I'm going to start with the silly news of my new podcast artwork. Big news! But really, it brings some fresh energy into the podcast, and I loved the last logo I had. I was proud of it, but then I looked at it recently, and I was thinking, I really want to refresh that photo. That was taken in 2021, that photo of me, and I like that photo of me, but I wanted something fresh, something new, something brighter. And so, lo and behold, the new logo for Third Eyesight, everybody. I'm being extremely silly. Like, podcast artwork should not be news, but I'm here. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about new things. I'm excited about new energy, and I feel like I've had a recent revelation as to the kinds of things I want to say more on social media, the kinds of things I want to say more on this podcast. And nothing's changing about my psychic mediumship work, or how I develop the abilities, or how I talk about psychic abilities and mediumship. That's not going away, but I want to sprinkle in some other things too that are sort of related, all for the purpose of helping you tap into your highest self. And I'm excited about it. So we'll see. Come join the ride with me. So angels, before we get into angels and angelic energy and what it has felt like for me, I want to first talk about archangels, because archangels are entities and beings that a lot of people pray to, and they pray to specific archangels for specific reasons. And I have prayed to some archangels, and I have felt the energy of some archangels before. Do I pray to archangels today, and do I make it an ongoing practice? I don't pray to angels on an ongoing basis either. But just because I don't pray to them or intentionally reach out to them doesn't mean that they're not present in my life, and doesn't mean that they are not working behind the scenes, because I know they are. I have gotten validation that they are, and I want you to know that that's the same case for you. And I'm going to look at some notes I took when I was doing mentorship with Daisy at Earth Angel Crystal. Actually, she went through a list of archangels with me, 7 in particular. I may mispronounce some names, so please be forewarned. But first is, and this is probably the most well-known, Archangel Michael, represented by the color blue. Name means he who is as God, protection, courage, strength, and justice. Those are the qualities that he embodies. Archangel Raphael, who is my personal favorite, the color green. The name means God heals. And Raphael is the archangel of healing. I had a personal journal that I actually named Raphael. And by the way, his name is spelled with PH in the middle, not with an F. And I named my personal journal Raphael because I wanted it to be a source of healing for me to write in that journal. Third, Archangel Gabriel, another very popular archangel, probably next to Michael, the most popularly recognized archangel. Archangel Gabriel is represented by the color white. The name means God is my strength. The archangel of communication and messages. Some of us know that Archangel Gabriel shared the birth of John the Baptist and the birth of Jesus with their respective parents. Archangel, Jophiel, Jophiel, represented by the color orange, yellow. It looks like I used the color yellow here next to his name, or their name rather. Jophiel means beauty of God. Love and beauty within is what Jophiel embodies. Next is Uriel, which is a violet purple color. Is represented by violet purple. Lion of God, earth, nature, environmental harmony. That's Archangel Uriel. Archangel Azrael, the color indigo. Whom God helps is what Azrael means, assisting with life to death transition. Then lastly, out of the 7, Archangel, I'm going to mispronounce this, Chamuel, Chamuel, Chamuel. or Shamuel. I think it's Shamuel. People pronounce it differently in different ways, probably. He who sees God, the archangel of world peace and restoring order. So those are the 7 archangels, and there are different reasons a person may pray to one over the other, depending on the circumstance. I know that as for me, I have prayed the most to Archangel Raphael, especially during my inner child healing work, during my mentorship of Daisy. And he is an archangel whose energy I have felt before. And I have felt it when I have envisioned myself engulfed in Raphael's green energy, green light. And I would also say that Archangel Michael is one that I've called upon too when I feel like I'm in a sticky situation, or I feel like I don't feel so safe within myself or safe around certain people. Not because they're going to harm me physically, but because something about them triggers me and I'm asking for his help. And it doesn't mean that he's going to get rid of the trigger. I still need to deal with the trigger myself and take ownership of my trigger. But it will at least soothe me and help remind myself, you're safe within yourself. It's okay. You're protected. It's fine. So those are the 7 archangels. And like I said, people pray to specific archangels for their specific reasons. Now let's talk about angelic energy, because there are more angels than just the 7 archangels that I just listed and mentioned. I don't pray to angels. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. I do not pray to angels on a regular basis. I don't meditate with them on a regular basis. But it doesn't mean that they're not working in the background. It doesn't mean that they're not present in my life. And I want you to understand that that's the same for you too. There are angels working in your favor in the background, even if you, whether you acknowledge them or not. And it's okay if you don't pray to them. No one's saying, and I'm not saying, you have to pray to angels in order to live a happy life. They're going to do their work. You just have to have the faith in yourself and to honor and respect yourself, because that's what they want. They want you to live your life for your highest self and your highest good. And you do whatever it is that you want to do to achieve that in a way that's healthy for yourself and not harmful to others or yourself. So with that said, I'm going to share with you what angelic energy has felt like for me. And it's a little hard to put into words, but it actually happened very recently on a live reading that you can see on my Instagram feed. It's the last live Instagram reading that I did. I believe there were the second person in that live on Thursday, 14, 15. I think it was Thursday the 8th, I think. Yes, Thursday, August 8th, 2024. I did an Instagram live, and for one of the folks I was reading, I told her that I just felt all this angelic energy. And I told her I rarely feel that in a reading. It happens, but it doesn't happen very often at all in a reading for a client. And I understood why they were there, because they wanted to keep her emotions protected. And I told her that. You can watch the live reading on my Instagram feed. And the way that it felt in that moment, it's a different vibration. And I know that word is used a lot. I'm going to explain what that means for me. It's a different vibration than channeling someone's loved one. When I feel angelic energy like that, it feels like energy that never manifested itself into a human body, into a human being, that never incarnated into a human body. So it doesn't feel like something that's familiar to my human self. It's not like, oh, I know this being was once a human person on this planet. It feels like, it's almost like a foreign feeling that feels familiar. It's so hard to explain. It's a feeling of somebody that doesn't feel like one of us. Now, when I say that, I mean someone who's never incarnated into a human body. They serve the purpose of being in the spirit world and being incredible guides for people on Earth, people across the universe, for beings across the universe. And so when I was feeling this angelic energy, this energy decided to be very protective. And it was looking out for the client that I was reading on the Instagram live. And it's not because of what I was saying. You know, I do my best to not say things that are harmful. And I know that I was not saying anything that was harmful. They were protecting her emotional well-being as I was trying to be compassionate towards her at the same time, these two things were happening. I was doing the work to try and be compassionate towards her and to be careful with the words I was saying and selecting. And the angels were protecting her emotional well-being, her emotional energy body, all because someone came through that might have been a little upsetting for her. And that I kept checking in with her to make sure that, is this okay to talk about this, especially in front of other people on Instagram Live? But is it okay in general? Or are you okay? And it was such a beautiful thing that these angels were just so protective. And to the point that I was having a little bit of trouble, and maybe this is a me thing, I don't want to blame the angels, but I was having a little bit of trouble channeling messages from the loved one. It's almost like this person who had once been in the physical world was on the other side of this wall of angels. It was the angels were between me and this person. And it's not because the angels wanted to restrict the message from coming through. It seemed to me, based on the client's response to me mentioning the angels, that she needed to hear that angels were looking out for her. And I think that's the reason they were creating this wall in my head, this image of this wall. And I felt like there was a wall of them, almost like they were club bouncers. And the purpose that seemed to serve for the client was to send her the message loud and clear that she's being looked after, that she's praying to angels and they are hearing her prayers. And then the rest of the reading, I was able to channel more from that person on the other side of that wall of angels. There are other times when I have felt angelic energy, and it's few and far between, but I have felt it actually at Earth Angel Crystal here in New York City. I remember when I first got to know Daisy, I would hear, she would share with me and other folks that angels are in that space. And, not gonna lie, at first I was like, okay, sure, cool. And I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but I was a little skeptical. I'll be fully honest. And I've told her that. I told her that it took me time for me to understand the energy of the space. And the more I spent time there as a mentee, doing some psychic work there, I started to feel them. And I feel like I started seeing them at the corner of my eye. I would see these once or twice. I would either see a shadow at the corner of my eye, look, and it wasn't there, or I would it's just this feeling of there's someone there. There's someone there. There's something there, and it feels powerful. And so I have felt angelic energy in those circumstances at that at Earth Angel Crystal. And as some of you may know, my mentor Daisy, who owns Earth Angel Crystal, she does a lot of angelic channeling and energy healing. And she works with angels when she does energy healing with clients. And I have done a chakra balancing session with Daisy, and it was pretty incredible. And there was another instance where she did a mini, I don't know if I would call it a mini chakra balancing, but just a very abbreviated version of energy healing work on me. And I felt something hold my wrist, like grab my wrist, but not in a violent way, like in a very caring way. And I told her that. And I know it was an angel. I just know. I can't explain it. I felt my wrist being touched. I know it sounds spooky to some, but it was a very comforting feeling. It didn't feel scary. And she was not touching me very much at all. Maybe she would tap my shoulder once in a while during the energy work, but she never touched my wrist. And during the chakra balancing work, I did feel my physical body being touched on my arms, on my shoulders and chest a bit, I think, from what I remember. And during that work that she does in chakra balancing, from what I understand, she does not touch the human body of her clients. And I just know there was something higher in there. And I feel like it was angelic energy, very strong, protective angelic energy that just wanted me to feel the healing touch of spirit, the healing touch of the other side. And it's so hard to describe what it feels like. And But that's the best way I can describe these different experiences of feeling angelic energy. And it can show up differently for everybody. This is how I've experienced angelic energy in these different circumstances, but for you, it may feel different. And I think also with angelic energy, there is a light emotion, a light feeling to angelic energy, like a lightheartedness, very childlike. And even though in that client reading on Instagram Live on August 8th, even though it was very protective energy, there was a commanding presence to it. So either it feels like childlike energy, or it feels like very authoritative energy, very wise authoritative energy. Like you don't question it. It's one of those two things. It feels like one of those two things. It could feel like both at once, or it could feel like it can feel childlike in one circumstance because that's what best serves the circumstance, or authoritative in a wise, beautiful way in another circumstance, because that's what we need to feel at that moment from the angels. And I find it always so hard to just talk about these things and explain them that way than just say period, end of story, because I feel like there's so much to say about angels. But those are my experiences. And so if you want to feel angelic energy, I highly recommend that you just talk. I've said before in my content in different places, just talk. You don't have to pray like, oh dear angelic beings, I pray to thee. You don't have to do that. Just talk. Just something like, hey angels, I really want to feel you. I want to start feeling you more. Help me to sense you when you're around me. Help me to feel your energy. And if you want to meditate, go for a walk in the park. Don't put your headphones in when you're walking in the park. Let's say you walk in the park 4 days a week. One of those 4 days, just don't have any headphones on. Just walk. Put your phone on airplane mode in your pocket. Do your thing. And treat yourself to those moments of quietude, and those moments of letting yourself, like treating yourself to serenity. And I think that in those moments, it may not happen quickly. It may take some time, because this takes some deconditioning for those of us that like to overthink things and like to be skeptical. And I include myself in that group of people. It may happen quickly. Just let go and see what happens. It's like when I've said before, when you ask for signs, ask for the sign and then release it. Don't try to look for it. Don't try to get things to fit so that now it's just, I saw a white cloud today. Well, there are white clouds a lot of the time. So don't try to make things just fit. Just ask for the sign, ask for the angelic energy, and just let go of the command. Let go of that command, let go of that request, and just let it be, let it flow. And then treat yourself well, treat yourself to serenity and serene moments. And maybe in those moments, you will feel the sign when you least expect it, or you will feel the sign when you're not trying too hard. When we try too hard to find the sign, that's our ego wanting to get the validation. When a sign comes to us, when we let things flow, it's validation that comes to us, not validation that we're desperately seeking. So that's my recommendation for how to ask for angelic energy to enter your life. Just talk to the angels. If you want to pick one of the angels, the archangels that I listed, you're more than welcome to do that based on what you are working on in your life right now, or what you're working on in your spiritual journey, your healing journey right now. And I think that there's nothing you have to lose by just talking to the angels. And if you want to make angelic energy part of your daily practice, part of your practice before you do a reading for somebody, nothing wrong with that either. It's a beautiful idea. Actually, I may start doing that myself. So yeah, I'm really curious if any of you have had experiences with I can't speak today, everybody. I'm curious if any of you have had experiences with angels yourself and what that felt like, what that looked like. Have you ever seen an angel? I've never seen an angel outside of a shadow. And what did that look like for you? How did that experience feel for you? Send me an email. Send me an email. We'd love to read your story. And if you don't want me to read your story on the podcast, I'll just read it for my own enjoyment and curiosity. But with that, I leave you to the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next episode. Love you all. God bless you all, and take care of yourselves. If you have a question or topic you want me to cover on Third Eyesight, head to my website, juanfranciscospirit.com/contact, and send a message my way. If you really enjoyed this episode, leave a review wherever you listen. I'd really appreciate it.